Harris runs ahead of Biden in some states for 2024 amid the terrible results for President Biden in the poll that was released earlier this week by the New York Times and Siena College, the one that had Biden losing to former President Donald Trump in most major swing states, was a bit of a surprise. It turns out the president is running behind the vice president in some states. According to Newsweek, which cited the Times poll, Harris is doing better against Trump in 3 swing states, Georgia, Michigan, and Nevada, than Biden does. This goes against numerous assumptions, often shared by opponents of the vice president, that she is the worst presidential candidate imaginable. When voters were asked who they would choose for president if the options were between Harris and Trump, 47% in Michigan said Trump and 45% said Harris. Meanwhile, in a matchup between Biden and Trump, 48% of voters in Michigan chose the former president and 43% chose Biden. Newsweek said of the NYT, Siena College poll results. In Georgia, Trump received 45% of the vote while the vice president nabbed 44%. However, when Trump is up against Biden, he received 49% of the vote compared to Biden's 43%, the report added. Approximately 48% of voters in Nevada picked Trump over Harris, while Harris received 42% of voter support. However, when Biden is on the ballot with Trump, the former president has an 11-point lead, 52 to 41%. Polling numbers both do much worse against Trump than does a generic Democrat, but that's not an actual person. And any candidate the party could put up would have positives and negatives. There are quite a few caveats that apply here. This is one poll, and it was taken a year before Election Day. The differences between the performance of Biden and Harris, in that one poll, aren't exactly major, and that 11-point lead by Trump in Nevada, a state Trump lost in both 2016 and 2020, and which usually has presidential contests that are much closer than that, some consider fishy. Election forecaster Nate Silver, on his Substack site, wrote this week about that and other recent polls. He noted that until now, he had never seen a poll favoring Harris over Biden during the current cycle. Time equals 400 ms, greater than. Although you can speculate on why Biden's numbers are so mediocre with younger Americans. One explanation is staring us in the face, which is that 78% of under 30 voters in the poll say Biden is just too old to be an effective president, 48% say the same of Trump. Silver wrote, and of course, voter concern about Biden's is a pattern that has manifested itself across a lot of polls. It's not an issue that will go away. Biden is 80 and will turn 81 later this month. He's a big historical outlier. Biden was older at the start of his term than any prior president had been at the end of their presidency. With the general election day a year away, the Biden-Harris campaign sent out a campaign email Monday which stated that they described the campaign's winning strategy and states, "This election is a choice. It's a choice between President Biden and whoever the Republican Party decides to put forward. It's a choice and a contrast that we're drawing to make sure that voters know President Biden is working to cap the cost of insulin, to lower costs for middle-class families, in stark contrast with the Republican Party who want to provide tax breaks for the wealthy and corporations," Deputy Campaign Manager Quentin Fulks said in the release. "This is a choice and we need to make that clear to voters, so we're excited to do all we can from the very beginning, very early in this campaign, and have consistent communication with voters across the country to do just that. Author expertise and experience."